Assalamu alaikum. Takbir. 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 And to all of our guests, that does not mean blow up a bus. That means glorify God, and Allahu Akbar means God is the greatest. Please be seated, sisters and brothers. In the most holy name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who intervened in our affairs in the person of a well-made man named Master Farad Muhammad. We forever thank this one wise, true, and living God for not only coming among us, but for searching in the midst of us and finding one that was constitutionally fit to receive the supreme wisdom and the final wisdom that will be necessary to bring about the hereafter in the world that we live in, that is a current hell. That man that was constitutionally fit, that man that Allah seen had the psychological, physical, and spiritual makeup for him to pour himself into, is none other than a Georgia-born black man. That maybe that don't mean nothing to y'all. A Georgia-born black man by the name of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger, the Messiah in our midst. We thank the two of them for not only coming in person 9,000 miles by himself, for not only raising up one that will become the greatest material witness that black people could in fact be back on top of civilization again in the personage of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. But we thank Allah that he didn't stop there. For there were many of us that were not born or lived during the time to receive the message from the messenger. And then those that had lived with the messenger and received the message from the messenger have forgot or lost respect for that message. But it was one man's faith. It was one man's love that made his mind up that he would not allow the history to write the most honorable Elijah Muhammad out of the books. And he stood up to make that great commission known of who the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is and was. We are talking about our chief representative, God's anointed servant in this day and time, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All praises are due to Allah. Ramadan Mubarak. Before I began, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan just yesterday successfully celebrated his 86th birth anniversary. And I'm pleased to announce to our southern regional headquarters of our Nation of Islam, to Black Atlanta, and to the thousands that are viewing us Facebook Live, Farrakhan is not in a nursing home. Farrakhan is not in hospice care. Farrakhan is not in a wheelchair. Farrakhan is not walking on a walker. Farrakhan is not leaning on a cane. But as of today, Farrakhan is in good health and good spirit, prepared to finish this last leg of the battle to destroy Satan from the face of the planet Earth. We thank Allah for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He extends his love and greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We will do just that. If anybody looking around at us wanting to know what's wrong with us for doing what we just did, no, ain't nothing wrong with us for doing what we just did, but it is something wrong with you if you had a problem with it. Because last I checked, right here in Atlanta, Georgia, when one of these corrupt congressmen walk out on the floor, or one of these snake-defied senators, or hell, the president of the school board walk out, first thing the bailiff says is, all rise. And then they got the nerve to call the congressman, the councilman, or the judge the honorable. Well, Farrakhan more honorable than any judge, any council member, any senator, any congress member, any city council rep, any school board president. He's more honorable than anybody on the planet. So if you're going to stand for them and let them call him the honorable, anytime we send the greetings of Assalamu alaikum from this beautiful man, we should stand to our feet, put our shoulders back, speak with the loudest voice we can, with the biggest smile we can put on our face. Please return that greeting of peace of God Blessings from God to that beautiful man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Is that right? I'm so excited to be here to share the program with what Allah has blessed us with as a great, great gift, and in my humble opinion, a precious jewel in the crown of the Messiah. I'm speaking of our brother, your brother, and our minister here, Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad, one of the greatest soldiers that the Nation of Islam has ever produced. We love you, Brother Sharif. We love you, Sister Sharifa. We love you, family of Muhammad. We thank Allah for your sacrifice, for your soldiering, and for your commitment to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I just had to say that because sometimes familiarity breeds contempt. And whenever we get used to being around something, we began to accidentally, on purpose or just accidentally, start taking that thing for granted. But I want you to know, Southern region and in general, and in Mosque number 15 in specific, you should be so happy that you have a man with backbone, strength, and faith that will not bow down and back out on his teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He stood and weathered many tests and many storms, but I've never seen his spirit shaken or his spirit to waver. He stayed steadfast on this battlefield. Come on. Thank you, Student Minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad. May Allah continue to bless you, and may He establish a sacred hedge around you and your family. Today, sisters and brothers, is what the white man calls Mother's Day. I would say Happy Mother's Day. However, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that if you and I are going to get into this habit of recognizing our women and saying Happy Mother's Day, then you're not going to just be able to do it on the second week of May. For the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said every day is Mother's Day. All praise is due to Allah. Every day is Mother's Day. God said in the Bible that you and I should honor our mothers and honor our fathers, that our days might be long on the earth. It's no footnote, it's no amendment that's been added to it. Honor your mother on the second week of May, and honor your father on the third week of June. There's no time period, there's no date set for it. It is a principle that one should carry into their mind every day that they live. And it's something about keeping mama on your mind and keeping honor of her on your mind. It's something about keeping honor of your father on your mind that God says it causes longevity to be added to the one that is respectful and honorable and appreciative of their mother and father. One day, sisters, brothers, the companions were talking to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and they wanted to know, after Allah and the Messenger, who should we honor the most? Come on, teacher. Come on. Come on, brother. And I know they probably was sitting back. They had probably already argued with one another and probably had said the angels. Probably had said some of the martyrs. Probably had said the other soldiers that were members of the Sahaba or the inner circle of the Prophet's companionship. And they probably had debated and asked the question of Prophet Muhammad, and who should we honor most after Allah and the Messenger? Who next? And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, your mother. I guess they had been arguing because they wasn't satisfied. So they said, okay, after Allah, the Messenger, and your mother, who then should we honor most, dear Prophet? Prophet Muhammad said, your mother again. Still not satisfied. There must be some Negro companions. Because you know what a Negro no don't mean no.
You got to prove it.
So they came back and you know they say the third time's a charm. They said, okay, dear prophet, after Allah, the messenger, and our mothers, who then should we honor most? He said, then your mother again. And the companions asked one more time. And he said, after Allah, the messenger, your mother, my mother, and my mother again. Who then should we honor? He said, then your father. Now for the record, sons and daughters, this does not mean that there should be 3/4 honor given to the woman and only 1/4 given to the man as a father. This means that the man should receive as a father full honor from his children. But when it comes to the distribution of honor to mother, she's worthy of 3 times the amount of honor that you showed your father. Oh, praise be to Allah. In another conversation with Prophet Muhammad, the companions were asking him who among us is considered best in Allah's sight. And I imagine they thought that he was going to say the one who's said their 5 daily prayers the most consistent, or the one that has given in charity, or the one that has made their pilgrimage, or the one that fasts, especially in the holy month of Ramadan, the one engaged in jihad, the one that confesses belief in Allah and the messenger and proves it with his actions. Even though those things are true, Prophet Muhammad, whenever he answered the question, who among us is best? And Prophet Muhammad said, the best among you is he who is kindest to his wife and to his mother.
Come on now.
You didn't hear what I just said. The honor of wife and the honor of mother. Why not just mother? Why you add wife to the equation?
Come on, brother minister.
If all we are honoring is our mothers, the mother is without question the vehicle, the instrument, the laboratory, the facility, the place that God used to bring us into existence. So without our mother in our past, we wouldn't be men in the present. I agree with it. However, while mother is the woman in the past that brought us into the present, our wives are our women in the present that will take us into the future. So when honor is to be given, we can't salute mama and forget wife. We can't honor wife and forget mother. No, the real celebration of Mother's Day is not the second week of May, honoring the one that brought us into the world. The real celebration of Mother's Day is honoring our wives and honoring our mothers every day of our existence. Oh, praise to Allah. Well,
Go ahead, teacher.
Since they call it Mother's Day, we have taken up a subject that is titled The True History of the Black Woman. You know, like I know, that there are many myths and misconceptions that are in the atmosphere on how, where, when, and why women were brought into existence. And there are certain lies about the origin of woman that have been recycled now for nearly 6,000 years. Do you know that if you repeat a lie long enough, it becomes the truth? Not that the lie actually is the truth, but repetition is the mother of learning. And And if repetition is the mother of learning, that makes it the father of action. And if repetition is the mother of learning and the father of action, that makes repetition the architect of the future that we live in. So whenever a lie has been told, even though the lie may not be the truth, if it has been repeated long enough, by what they call in psychology, the mob psychology, which says that people don't generally think, eat, wear, or do what is right, or even think, eat, do, or wear what is wrong. They eat, drink, do, and think that which is popular. And don't nobody follow a trend like black people do. Am I telling the truth?
Yes.
Come on, bro.
If you in the mall and somebody, if you see a group of people running, you don't investigate.
No, sir. Running, Johnny.
When we start running, we might ask questions while we're running with the group. And while we're running with a whole group of people, hey, what's happening back here? And dude look at you and say, I don't know. I just start running because we do what's popular.
Come on.
So, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us in a monumental course of study that is designed to help us to go inside of self and circumcise Satan from within, called the Self-Improvement Study Course. He says that whenever an idea is represented to the people, and that group of people believe that the idea came from God, then their mind says to them that even if I'm thinking different, I have to readjust my thinking to the way God said it was, even if the word that is coming is somebody else talking in the name of God.
Come on, man.
He says, so the most dangerous thing that you could ever do is you can integrate lies into the sphere of religion.
Bring it on,
He said this in the study guide. He said, because beliefs harden into laws.
Come on now.
And laws don't get broken. Laws break people. Oh, I got 3 people that agree.
Come on.
Okay, let's see.
That's it. Say it again.
Do we have the other mic? Get it. So laws don't, you can't break laws. Laws break people. We got to stop saying that so-and-so broke the law. They lied, but the law of lies still is intact on the books.
That's right.
We might have fornicated, but just because we fornicate don't mean that fornication as a law is broke. The law remains intact. No, we didn't break the law broke us. So anytime that a lie is recycled, is repeated over and over again, at a certain point, that lie, especially in the field of belief, becomes hardened into a law. And then that law becomes that which shapes and molds the society. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever wondered why, sisters, whenever they give you the gender-specific title to describe yourself in a term of respect, you're called Miss?
Wow.
But the man is called Mr.?
Wow.
If you look at the word Miss or Mrs., Miss as a verb means failure to hit the target.
Come on.
Miss as a verb means a mistake. So whenever the world calls a woman that is married Mrs. or a woman that is single Miss, what we're saying is that it comes from the psychology that if a woman is here, that's a mistake.
Wow.
And this philosophy found in the English language is born out of a recycled lie about the origin of where a woman came from. We were taught that Adam was asleep in the garden. And while Adam was asleep, God came and snatched one of his ribs out.
That's right.
And you know when we seen the cartoon picture of God out there with Adam laying down and his rib, and he's spinning and dust and sand is getting attached to it, and hocus pocus shazam, a woman was born.
Just like that.
But we never used no logic. We never used any indifference. We never used any deduction.
Come on.
We never used any analytical thought process. We never used any reasoning.
That's right.
Because had we used a little logic and a little reason or a little common sense, we would have said, well, wait a minute, if all men are a carbon copy of that one man Adam, and God took one of his ribs to make a woman, then anytime I look at an x-ray as a man, I should be missing one rib. And if she was made from my one rib, either she should have only one rib or have 13 on one side and 12 on the other.
Come on.
But last that you checked your x-ray, male and female, both male and female have 12 ribs on the left and 12 ribs on the right side. The creation of woman from a rib is a metaphor. God was trying to use the known to help us to understand the unknown. God was trying to use the tangible to help us to see a teachable. God was trying to take us from what we understood to something that we didn't quite yet grasp the understanding of. That's what metaphors and parables and similes are for. So when God said that woman was created from the rib of man, he was more interested in us studying the placement and purpose of a rib.
That's right. Come on. That's right.
To describe the nature and job description of a woman. Not to see the woman as an inferior to ourselves. Are you with me, black man?
Clear it up. Clear it up. Clear it up. Walk, brother Nuri, walk.
Teach that science, brother. Come on.
Walk, black man.
You say walk it out?
Yes, sir.
And Domingos is from here, right?
Come on, bro.
Walk it like a...
Talk it.
Walk it like it.
Talk it.
So, if you look at the placement of a rib,
Yes, sir.
a rib is not underneath the foot to be trampled on.
No, sir. Come on now.
A rib is not behind to be less than.
Uh-oh.
A rib is not above the head to rule over the man.
Come on now.
But the rib is right by the side of the man.
Go ahead.
Letting you know that not behind, not underneath, or not above every strong black man, but beside every strong black man has always been a strong black woman. Oh, praise and due to Allah. Notice too. Oh, praise and due to Allah. Notice too that the rib is a protector of the lungs and the heart of the body. The lung is where inspiration comes in.
That's right.
And the heart is where blood pumps forth from. Likewise, so it is with our woman.
Yes.
See, placement and purpose. Your job as a woman is to protect the inspiration of a nation. Your job as a woman is to protect the heart, to protect the love and compassion of a nation. Does that make sense? The rib is also bent in its own shape. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, in a book called Proper Way of Handling of the People, he has a section called Ways to Make Your Home Life Happier.
All right now.
You say you wish I would have did that lecture. Don't worry about it. I got some tapes in the back. Got some tapes.
Right.
But in the 10 points, one of them was don't nag. Security. Don't criticize. But look at this one. Don't try to make your partner over. See, as a man, you cannot try to make your woman into what you want her to be. The Holy Quran says that the male is not like the female, and the female is not like the male. We are two twin halves of a single essence. Allah says, keep your duties to your Lord, by whom He created you from one single being, and your mate from the same kind. We come from the same essence. We're made up of the same ingredients. But the distribution of those ingredients or those spiritual chemicals are different female to the male. That's why in Ephesians 5:33, when a man is given a gender-specific command on how he can get the best out of his woman, he's told, husbands, love your wives as you love yourself. But sisters, whenever the command is given to you to get the best out of your man, he didn't say love your husband. He said, and respect your husband. Two different functions. Two different natures from one nature. Okay, I got it. Everybody didn't agree with me.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Okay, all right. When you're talking about your husband or your wife to somebody else and you don't say their name, have you ever heard somebody say my other half?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And when you're trying to win some brownie points
Yes.
and you know she might overhear you talking about her, you say my better half?
Yeah. Brownie points. Brownie.
If she's your other half, then what we are admitting is that we won't reach our full potential as a good man unless we got us a good woman. If he's your other half, what you're saying is that I won't reach my full potential and be the best me unless I get me another me that is the male masculine expression. So even though we are coming from the same single essence and the same single being, which is God Himself,
Right.
man is created with the same ingredients as woman, but he's rational / emotional.
Yes, sir.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
And the female is emotional / rational. Do y'all remember whenever you was multiplying fractions back in the day? You remember that if the numerator in this fraction was the same as the denominator in that fraction, you could cross the 2 out and put a 1 in its place. But well, wait a minute. If man is rational over emotional and woman is emotional over rational, the R in the denominator of the man crosses out the denominator of R in the woman. And the E that's in the denominator of the man crosses out the E that's in the numerator of the woman. And if you replace each one of them when you cross it out with the number 1, then it equals 1 over 1, and 1 over 1 means 1, saying we are whole when we are working together in harmony with one another as good husbands and good wives to one another. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. You all right?
Yes, sir. God Almighty. God Almighty. God Almighty.
Break that bean.
So,
Break it down.
that's a lie that you came from a rib. That's about placement. That's about purpose. And the footnote, brothers, notice that the rib is right under your arm, letting us know that our women have to be an object of our protection.
Go ahead.
Come on, brother. That's right. That's it.
A real man
Come on. Real.
does not allow a badge or a gun
No, sir. Go ahead. Right. Listen now.
to cross out or eliminate or neutralize a divine command to be a protector of a woman. A real man does not videotape a black woman being beaten in California by highway patrol. You're the real man.
That's right.
Taping a cracker on the neck of our sister Shakisha in Alabama. A real man don't videotape that. A real man wouldn't stand there taping a 13-year-old little girl in McKinley, Texas being stepped on and stomped out by a 300-pound white man. I don't give a damn if he's a sheriff or not. A badge and a gun does not have the authority to override your divine mandate as a man. The reason why I'm angling so much on teaching on the value of the woman, and I'm looking more at men than I am at women, is because the only way you can actually properly protect something
Yes.
is you gotta know how valuable the thing is that you are protecting. And if you don't know its value, if you see it as less valuable than yourself,
Come on now.
then you won't put yourself in harm's way. See, a real man opens doors for his woman. Sisters, now if I say something that y'all been wanting to say, but you know as you said it, it might have created a little controversy in your house. See, when you hear me say it, you got, see, that I'm doing all the leg work. I'm the one, so I'm making a statement, so when I say it, it's going to hit his head once. But look, listen, you have access to what I call the ricochet effect. And if you say, that's right, go ahead, amen, hallelujah, say that, teach on that black man, something. Clap your hand, then you, what you do is you double the absorption capacity of that black man's subconscious mind for the principle. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was just trying to get the brother to start opening the door again. No, outside of the mosque parking lot. Security! See, when a man opens a door, the statement that he's making is that beautiful.
Come on.
You're so valuable to me, I don't even want you to have to put in the work to pull the handle.
Come on now.
But anybody that knows anything about security knows that when your principal is inside of an automobile,
Come on now.
there's always got to be a soldier on post with their hand on the top of that door, prepared to catch any bullet coming from anywhere and holding that door, because I ain't letting nobody in that ain't supposed to be in. That's the way you got to see your woman. You got to treat her like your principal and make sure she's locked down and secure. Oh, praise be to Allah. When a man is a protector, he walks on the outside where the traffic is coming. Even if it's just a parking lot, if cars are moving about, honey, you step inside. What am I saying? I'm saying that I'm willing to put myself in harm's way to protect you. Now, just as a footnote, brother, this don't mean that you're supposed to be trying to go out. This ain't no time. You don't say, you can't flex up on no navigator and think that you being a real man by trying to tackle a car coming at you. That means get her out the way and then you get out the way too. But a protector or security is always observing everything in the environment to see what might harm my principle. Security is always thinking about strategic moves that I can place myself in. to be able to keep my principle from avoiding harm or danger. When you own security, you're willing to fight anybody that invades. You're willing to kill anybody that invades. And when you own security, you're even willing to die for that which you protect. But as a man, we will not fight, kill, and die for our women unless we see our women as being as valuable as they really are. So it has to be established. Therefore, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said, a nation can rise no higher than its woman. He said that woman is not the woman of man. She is the woman of God.
That's right.
He said that when you teach a man, you teach an individual. But when you teach a woman, you teach a whole nation. And you can replace that verb anywhere you want. You can take teach out and say that whenever you respect a woman, you respect a nation. When you love a woman, you love a nation. And on the opposite side of it, when you beat a woman, you have beat a nation. That's the reason why we don't give a damn whether you're the FBI, the CIA, the police department, whether you got an AK-47, a Desert Eagle. If you attack our women, we will do everything in our power to kill you about this black woman. That's the way we're trained. We don't make no videotape. And if we do make a tape, we gonna put that thing in selfie mode and say, look, hey, look, Assalamu alaikum, this is a message I want to send to you, my mother, my wife, and my children. Look, this might be the last time you ever see your father, your husband, or your daddy, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let this cracker get away with what he's getting away with. And you get in where you fit in. And handle the business as a man, as a protector of your woman. That's what men do. That's what men do. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. All right, but let me find out. What am I supposed to be saying? Allah is the greatest. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the mother is the first teacher. She's the first nurse. She's the first doctor. Then the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan took it to another level. Listen to these words. He said, mama is God in baby language. Before a child ever calls on Jesus or Muhammad, the first call to fulfill the needs, the first person they want to answer their prayers is mama. Mama is not just the first nurse, the first doctor, the first teacher, but in the mind of the child, until mama teaches them different, mama's the first God the baby knows. Now, as a real mother, you got to make sure you teach them to know that Allah is God. And you are not that. Because at the end of the day, when the math is done, Allah does not give credit to the woman for bringing birth to a child, nor the man for bringing birth to a child. In the Holy Quran, it says, I, Allah, created you in the womb of your mother. In the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah, it says it like this: I knew you before you were in the womb of your mother. Right. And then I formed you in your mother's womb. That means that long before your father's sperm ever met your mother's egg, you were already worked out on the big screen of God's mind in blueprint form. He used your father's seed. He used your mother's womb as an environment to grow that seed, but Allah is the one that brought us into existence. Right. That's why, no, let me say something to the sisters real quick. That's why you got to be careful listening to these dumb R&B songs. You cannot let these so-called love songs inform you about proper male and female relationships. I can't live without you. I can't sleep without you. I can't breathe without you. Don't want to go on without you. What am I going to do without you, baby? You going to do the same thing you was doing before you met that man. No, the only one that you can't do without, breathe without, sleep without, do without is Almighty God, Allah Himself. In fact, all praise is due for it, and that's for us too. In fact, the only permanent relationship we have is with Allah.
That's right.
All others are temporary. There's going to be a time that you're going to be without your husband, or your husband's going to be without you. There's going to be a time you're going to be without your mother, or your mother's going to be without you. There's going to be a time we're going to be without our sons and daughters, or our sons and daughters are going to be without us. Every relationship we have with one to another is all temporary. But if Allah said, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and I formed you in your mother's womb, before you ever were, Allah already had a relationship with you. He had a known relationship with us when we were unknown to the world. Then He said, I formed you in your mother's womb, and I created you. So we were with God in a relationship before the sperm met the egg.
Right.
We were with God for 9 months in the laboratory of God called our mother's womb, bringing us into existence.
Right.
Then we live this thing called life. And whenever one passes, we say that from Allah they came, and to Allah they have returned. So if we were with Allah in the beginning when we were nothing, and even when we leave, we go back to Allah, the only permanent relationship we have is with Him. Therefore, when it comes time for energy distribution, you got to put more time into getting the love of the God. Are y'all still all right? Yes, sir. Can I read something to y'all real quick? Yes, this is on the subject and off the subject at the same time. But I snuck up on something accidentally on purpose. Yes, sir. In Friday's reading, and this is the Nuri translation. Yes, sir. Did you know that Nuri was a woman? Her name was Alama Nuri. Oh man, that's beautiful. She's so cold of a translator. I don't know, maybe that's not a good word to say. Yeah. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's something about when a woman brings the natural attributes of Allah that she manifests naturally to the equation of the Word of God. Patience, mercy, long suffering, compassion,
Right.
nurturer.
Right.
Sister Alama Nuri was so great of a translator that she knew how to extract the adjectives and adverbs from the English language and use those adjectives and adverbs in the English language in a synchronized way where she could express the word of Allah in the verses of the Holy Quran and not even need no footnotes. Bad sister. All right, the security, y'all ready? Y'all watch the brothers on this one, okay? All right, come over here, y'all. On Friday, Surah 534 or 434. Listen to what it says about men. Men are the full maintainers of women.
That's right.
Just forget it. Just forget it. No, I already gave y'all a cue. Just forget it. I'm fasting right now. I'm up here sweating, tired as hell. I done threw y'all an alley-oop and y'all still... Y'all want to try it again? Men are the, not maintainers, men are the full maintainers. Full maintainers of women. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in a message he did to married couples called "What is Your Role?" he gave a breakdown of what full maintenance looks like. First thing he said, maintenance is not something you do every now and then. Maintenance is something you do every day.
Every day.
Then he said that maintenance has multiple categories to be called full maintenance. He said the basic fundamental maintenance is called biological maintenance. That is when man becomes the protector of the woman. The basic form of protection of the woman is physical maintenance. Biological maintenance is whenever that man provides that woman with food, clothing, shelter, shoes, and gets her hair done. I didn't say it. No, bro. Y'all better clap. You see that, Buster? One brother in the back said, "Ramadan Mubarak to you." Sick of this. That's what the minister said. He said biological maintenance is food, clothing, shelter, shoes, and getting her hair done. I mean, you can go watch the lecture for yourself because it might be unbelievable. I mean, you may not understand what I'm saying. You can check it out for yourself.
Wow.
But he also said that maintenance is spiritual maintenance. And the definition of spiritual maintenance, he asked a question. He said, do you pray with your family in the morning? Do you discuss the Holy Quran in the morning with your family? See, at the end of the day, black man, the only authority we really have is our moral authority. And do you know, brothers, that it is in the nature of the woman, so teaches the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, to test the man? And as a testator, that doesn't mean that she tests us by what she says and does only. She also observes us and sees how we handle the world. And if she sees you every time a tight pants walk past you looking at somebody's behind, you flunking a test. If she sees your timeline and who you follow on social media and what you like and it's inappropriate, you're flunking a test. And guess what else? A woman's like to see how much you can do and how much you can take. Let me tell you something, sister. If you got a man that can do a lot or take a lot, you got a strong man. And if you got a man that can be doing a lot while they're taking a lot, you got a super strong man. And if you've got a man that can do a lot, take a lot while he's doing a lot, and still remain in a good spirit, you got a FOI for real. You got a man of God. That man should be honored. That man should be respected. That man should be cared for.
Come on with them teachers, brother. Come on.
So as a spiritual maintainer,
That's right.
as men, we cannot make virtue a feminine attribute.
Right. That's right.
Virtue is not feminine or masculine, it's godly.
That's right.
You can't say the black man is God and use money making as the only criterion to determine that. You can't say black man is God and use bench press as the only criterion to judging that. You can't say black man is God and use the ability to make decisions as the only way of measuring that. If God is good all the time, then righteousness is being a God. Virtue is being a God. Being principled is being a God. Being moral is being a God. So a man has to have in his mind that I'm fighting to make sure that I am the most righteous figure inside this house. I gotta have my moral authority. And can I say something to you sisters? Men also test women.
That's right.
Let me read this next verse after that. Here's the sisters. It says, so virtuous women are those who are obedient to Allah and guard their own chastity, as well as the rights and secrets of their husbands in their absence. Did y'all hear me? You're not a good woman talking about your husband behind his back. If you got a relationship with another sister, and that relationship is based on how you all can talk about each other or talk about somebody else or talk about each other, your own husband, and they won't tell on you, you won't tell on them, you got a fake friendship. A real woman does not expose the business of her husband. How are you going to badmouth the man you chose to be with? How are you going to dog the man you're married to? But even deeper than that, it says that the virtuous woman are those who are obedient to Allah and guard their own chastity. Sisters, if the reason you wear your headpiece is because your man might see you, I don't feel like hearing this mouth, then you're not yet virtuous woman. If the reason you come to the mosque is because my husband gonna be talking about, then you're not yet a virtuous woman. So a man is also observant. He wants to know, does my woman cover her hair because she wants to please Allah? Is my woman in the ranks because she wants to please Allah? Does she have a relationship with Allah? See, a real man want to know that if I die out here on this battlefield, that I can die with a smile on my face. Because I know my children are going to be okay, because my wife is going to lead them in the way of righteousness. Only a virtuous woman can do that. Oh, praise God.
Go ahead, black man. Go ahead.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Full maintenance.
Full.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said it's not just biological and physical. It's not just spiritual, but there also has to be mental maintenance. Mental maintenance deals with, on one level, the maintaining of the emotions of your woman. The language of a female is security.
That's right. Come on now.
The language of a man is honor.
All day.
I shouldn't have told y'all that.
Come on, brother.
Use your powers for good.
That's right. That's right. Come on.
Have you ever wondered why when you in the mall, you can see brothers, one of the prettiest sisters you ever seen and one of the ugliest brothers you ever seen? Yeah. And in your mind, you like, man, what is he doing? What is going on? Security. I guarantee you that he's providing financial security and emotional security by being a good listener to what his, okay. The primary strategy of a woman that takes another woman's man, she compliments the man away from the woman. Because unfortunately, we forget that it is written in the 3rd chapter of the Gospel of Big Mama, 4th verse. Well, no, Big Mama she got a gospel. And some of the stuff Big Mama said just as true as Bible and Quran. Birds of a feather? That ain't in the Bible, that's Big Mama. You lie down with dogs, you gonna get up with? That's not in the Quran, that's Big Mama's gospel. A family that prays together? That's nowhere in the scripture, that's Big Mama talking. Why would he buy the cow when he can? That's Big Mama, that wasn't a prophet. She seen us whenever we was messing with too many girls. She said, let me tell you something, little boy. A woman will either make you or... That's Big Mama. God helps those who... We heard it so much we thought it was in the Bible. That's Big Mama that said that. Are y'all all right? forgot my original Big Mama statement. What was I saying? Compliments, honor.
I'm an ugly guy.
Okay, all right, I sure don't remember.
Woman, take it another one.
The principle is this. The principle is this. Oh, I know what it was. Big Mama said that whatever you do to keep them or get them, you got to do to. We forget that when we get married.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know that some of the worst advertisements for the institution of marriage is married people? I'm serious. Some married couples make marriage look bad.
Very bad.
Even when they talk about it.
Better, not better.
Yeah, man, went on ahead and did it. She locked me in. Yeah, I went on and tied that old ball and chain to me 3 weeks ago. You go to a restaurant, you see a couple giggling and laughing and sharing each other's appetizer and having fun. And you go just do your own non-scientific poll. Ask her, excuse me, I don't mean to, are you married? No, we're not. Then I want you to look across the room and find a couple that's mean mugging, facing a plate, scooping up the food, eating somebody else's stuff, playing on the phone, never looking at each other, never smile, never let. Excuse me, sir, I don't mean to, ma'am. I don't want to invade, but I had a question. Are you all married? 27 years. 27 years. Like he under affliction. Let me tell you something about marriage. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. The longevity ingredient for relationships is friendship.
That's right.
If you want to have a happy marriage, you can't just love your husband or love your wife. You got to like one another.
Right.
You got to enjoy one another's company.
Right.
That's how you make it last. Forever.
Forever.
That's what Keith Sweat said. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So, all right, let me get back to the point. Y'all still okay?
Go ahead, teach, brother. Go ahead.
Listen to these principles, axioms, or laws that came from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad that God taught him. A nation can rise no higher than its woman.
That's right.
See, sisters, you got to take that personally. See, and whenever you start taking what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have said about you, when you take that to heart, then you begin to see your own self valuable enough. I'm going to tell you something. Men only treat you the way you let them treat you. You have to teach men
That's right.
how to honor and respect you.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? Teach them. A sister on Instagram, she made a post the other day, and she said that I don't know what, I'm about sick of all these ends, all in my DM trying to holler at me, talking to me, in such a disrespectful way. So I was concerned. I said, I got to find out what's going on. Why are they doing this sister like this? Lo and behold, went to her timeline. Booty shot, twerk video. I said, what's going on? I said, sister, cheap prices attract customers. And look, if you're not selling nothing, take the sign down. She said, but you don't understand. You understand that if we don't show something, we ain't gonna have nobody.
Just don't have nobody.
I said, sister, that's not the truth. I said, let me say something to you. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So stop focusing on trying to lure a mate to you and focus on being the kind of companion that would be next to the ideal mate you're looking for. And watch God send you the one for you. And I said, sister, and for the rest of the brothers, that's all they want to talk to you, and that's all they want to do is compliment and holler at you whenever you naked. I said, look, sister, if all that man wants from you is breast, legs, and thighs, send him to KFC. They got, okay, all right, I'm going to leave it alone. Sisters, as a woman, you have to be like a butterfly. Beautiful to the eye, but hard to catch.
Right.
My daughter told me in school, they said that everybody said, man, you really playing, you be playing hard to get. I said, you go back and tell them that you ain't playing. You serious, you all hard to get. Y'all still all right? Yes, sir. When you know your value, you'll stop giving men discounts. When you know your value, you won't settle for being abused.
Right.
If a man beats you, he does not love you. Did you hear me? No man should ever raise his hand to a woman. Any man that hits a woman is not a real man. When you know your value, sisters. Okay, security, I'm going to need y'all to guard me real quick. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
When you know your value, sisters, you will not settle for being a side piece of no man. Did you hear me? I said, sisters, when you know your value, you will not settle for being a side piece of no man. Do you know that whenever you are a side piece or a mistress, that you are the other woman? And other is an acronym. You know what an acronym is, right? An acronym is whenever every letter in a word represents another word. Like CIA is an acronym, it stands for the Cocaine Import Agency. What? So y'all know what I'm saying. FBI finding a black man to incarcerate. Job, you just over broke. Media, most effective devil in America. NAACP, Negroes always asking Caucasians permission. That's what it has been. Huh? Others an acronym, like Pope is an acronym. Pope, protector of pedophiles everywhere. That's what he's been doing. So sisters, when you allow yourself to be devalued in your own eyes, where you are content with being a side piece, you are the other woman, an overused toy he'll eventually release. Get out of it if you know your value. Are y'all all right? We gonna close out. We gonna close out. We gonna close out. Now, brothers, don't get mad at me. Do you know the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that a good man does not want more than one wife? I'm just going to leave it in the atmosphere. A good man does not want.
Good man.
Another lecture for another time. There in the scripture is a breakdown of a woman who is called a virtuous woman. And in this description of the virtuous woman, there are 10 traits of God that describe what an ideal woman looks like. Sisters, y'all ready? Yes, sir. Brothers?
Yes, sir.
See, and let me say this, brothers.
Go ahead.
Whenever it comes to mate selection, you have to have on the lenses of God when you're looking for a woman.
Yeah.
Come on.
Likewise, sister, you have to have on the lenses of God when you're looking for a man. Because right now, most men looking through human lenses. When they pick a woman, they're looking for a personal chef, a maid, and a pleasure box. And most women looking through human lenses, not divine, are looking for a man that is going to be a human ATM machine, a personal bodyguard, and a handyman. Long as you got that, you all right. Not according to God. In Proverbs 31, there's a description of 10 traits of what an ideal woman looks like. Oh man, I got 12 minutes. Can I share something? Because they never take on the beginning of this Proverbs 31. They just talk about the other part. But there's something in this Proverbs 31 that teaches young boys how to keep their God power all the way up into their adulthood and not become a victim of the world. In fact, there is a formula in the first 4 verses of Proverbs 31 on how a single mother can still make her son into a king and a ruler and a shot caller and a boss. Y'all want to hear it real quick?
Yes, sir.
It says this. The words of Lemuel, king of Massa, which his mother taught him. Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
His who? Mother. This is the mother talking. What, my son? What son of my womb? What shall I advise you? In other words, she's contemplating on how can I give my boy a recipe for life that guarantees he becomes the best he can be. She says, son of my vows and dedication to God. See, that's the first law as a mother. You've got to realize that as a parent, that these are God's children.
Right.
We are given management over their life, but they are really the children of God. And our children should not be devoted to the fulfillment of a family business or the last name legacy. Our children should be dedicated to the establishment of the kingdom of God and the destruction of Satan's world entirely.
That's right.
Y'all right?
That's right.
Listen to her advice to her son. I want you to be the best. Son, give not your strength to loose women.
It's knocked out.
She's telling her son that if you as a man start getting involved in relationships with loose women, you're going to lose your power. A woman will make you or break you. So number one, stay away from any little girl that's fast. Because if you are attracted to a fast or a loose girl, the relationship is going to short circuit your mental, emotional, and physical power. It's going to disturb your mind, and you may not shake it. So leave loose women alone. Nor your ways to those who and that which ruin kings. In other words, son, be careful with the kind of people you hang around. Paul said that a mirror reflects a man's face.
There we go.
But who a person really is determined by the kind of friends that they choose. You can't tell me you are different than everybody you are around. It might start like that.
But if you are around somebody and they have not become like you, it's only a matter of time before you become like them. So your law has to be, if you meet people that have a good personality but are not necessarily on the same frequency that you're on, interact with them and try to change the people that are around you. But if you can't change the people that are around you, you got to change the people that are around you. Make sense? Then she said to her son, "It is not for kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, pop mollies, smoke weed." What? This is the King James translation. King James translation. In other words, if you want to keep your power, you got to stay sober. So the three principles that were given to help this single mother make her son into the best that he could be is: number one, stay away from loose and fast little girls. Number two, make sure you surround yourself with friends that are trying to be something and go somewhere. And last but not least, keep your mind clean and clear. Don't let no drugs or chemicals get into your body and corrupt your brain.
That's right.
This woman, later on, is called a virtuous woman. It says, "Who is he that can find her?" Did y'all hear that, brothers?
Yes, fine.
So if who is he that can find her, God is saying the number one attribute you should be looking for when you pick a woman is not her behind or her breast. It's not her appearance, but it's supposed to be her virtue.
Right. That's it.
Okay, no
Go
brothers
ahead,
agree
go
with that.
ahead.
Keep on doing what you're doing. You're going to keep getting what you get. This virtuous woman, she is far more precious than jewels. And her value is far above rubies or pearls. You hear that, sisters? Beauty really starts on the inside. This is what Allah is saying. And then it emanates from the outside.
Right.
What is the value? What makes this woman so beautiful, so virtuous, such the ideal woman? Number one, she is a woman of virtue. She maintains her righteousness for the pleasure of God. She's not a man pleaser. She's moral, she's righteous, she's upright. She's dignified because that's the right way to be. Number two, she's called a capable and intelligent woman. A dumb woman is not attractive to a man. Okay, let me talk to the brothers real quick. I'm going to show you an example. Brothers, just be honest with me and show me by your witness bearing if this is true. Have you ever seen somebody from a distance that looked really, really pretty to the eye? And then when you got up on her and started talking to her, she was dumb as a box of rocks? No. Watch this. Just show me, just bear witness if I'm telling the truth.
Go ahead.
The minute that she opened her mouth and she was dumb, some of her prettiness faded away instantaneously.
That's right.
Is that the truth? Ignorance will make you ugly. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
So, sisters, virtue is number one. Number two, intelligence. It says this. Number three, her husband trusts in her confidently, and he believes in her confidently. In other words, he knows that his woman is what she is, whether he's in her life or not.
Right.
A real man wants to know that his woman is going to be on her square whether he's around or not. And a real woman wants to know the same thing about a man. Number four, she comforts and encourages her husband. Did y'all hear me?
Go ahead.
Whatever you did to get a thing,
Right.
you You got to keep doing it, keep it. Compliment that man. Honor that man. Even if he's just making real small progress. Your husband, over the course of your 20 years of marriage, has been gaining 3 pounds a year for 20 years. He's 60 pounds overweight, and now he suffers from what is called the Dunlap disease, where his belly done lapped over his belt. And you've been seeing him eating vegetables, walking around the block with wristbands on, doing sit-ups with his feet all underneath the couch. He drinking smoothies and green stuff now, trying hard to lose weight, and he haven't made much progress, but you still got to encourage him. You got to let him know that, look, honey, when you see, oh, baby, I see you now. I see you. Are you coming on down? Just that profile. I can tell by the profile, it looked like you done lost 10 or 15 ounces. I mean, whatever you can say. Even if it's just ounces. But encourage that man.
Come on now, lottery.
Number 5. She knows how to sew her own clothes. Did y'all hear that, sisters? You gotta stop wearing these clothes made by these freaks and cave dwellers from Paris. They are making most of the clothes made by white designers.
Right.
Are the uniform of a prostitute. Am I saying something wrong? No, a preacher told me that one of his congregants went to Vegas, a sister, and you know they say what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. And while she was in Vegas, she decided to start dressing real tight and immodest and just moving around and club to club. And she started having a conversation with her brother out on the street. And they stood out there laughing and talking and giggling and chopping up, had good energy between each other. They talked for over an hour. And at the end, right after about an hour had went past, the brother said this to her, says, let me ask you a question. How much is this going to cost me? And she was irate. Said, what do you think I ain't no prostitute? She said, man, this is harassment. I'm getting ready to tell the police right now. There's a police right over there. And he said, oh, hold on. How do you know he's a police? She said, because he got on a uniform. Question is, what uniform was she wearing? I'm just saying. No, when you make your clothes or buy your clothes, they should be modest clothes. Are y'all still all right? Yeah. They did a study in Princeton University. A woman named Jessica Ray. It's called The Evolution of the Swimsuit. They took men and showed them images of modestly dressed women and then images of women in bikinis. And when they showed the men the images of modestly dressed women, the activity in the medial prefrontal cortex of the brain, which is the area where the brain thinks about ideas, intentions, and thinks about people, was highly activated. When they asked them to write down what were some of the words that came to their mind when they seen these women, it was power. It was fight, push, drive, decency, morals, righteousness. Then they took the same men and put them under the brain scan, and as they showed the scantily dressed women, they noticed that the parts of the brains that lit up were the parts of the brain that normally lights up when a man sees a screwdriver, a drill, or a hammer, or a tool. Did you hear me? Yes. So when the woman was dressed modestly, he seen a person. But when she was dressed immodest, the man sees a thing. You don't honor and respect tools. You use tools to get what you want. The hell with the tool. Sisters, y'all all right? Number 5. Is that where I'm at? 5, 6. She cooks food from far countries and she grows her own food. Now, you know, this don't mean she travels to far countries. She just uses the seasoning. That means that a real woman know how to make more than fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. That's what they're trying to say. Okay, now, security. Hamburger helper, huh? I heard you. Microwave, Heat it up and scoop it out. Next point. She girds herself with strength spiritually and mentally and engages in physical fitness to stay in shape. I thought y'all would have clapped a little better for that, brothers, but hey, you don't want the ricochet effect, it's on y'all. Do you know that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that for every pound you are overweight as a female, each pound robs you of 1% of your beauty appearance? And I'm looking in the crowd at sisters that might be 20, 30, or 40 pounds overweight, and you're still beautiful as you are. Well, imagine if you came on down to your ideal size. You will be able to bring back into your life 30 to 40% more beauty than what you already have. That ain't something that's just good for no man. That's good for you. That's good for your own confidence, your own morale, your own health, your own longevity, your own energy level. This is this woman's characteristics. Next it says, she takes care of business. She takes care of businesses without neglecting her primary duties of mother and wife. So it ain't really an either or, sisters. Either I'm going to be a homemaker or I'm going to be a professional.
That's right.
No, it's not either or, it's both and.
Both and.
You can run your own businesses and still be the kind of wife and mother you're supposed to be. So teaches the Lord of the world. Last 2. She opens her hands to the poor. In other words, she puts service of others above service of herself. She's a charitable woman, always looking to give, not always waiting to receive.
That's right. That's right.
Next point, she will not listen to nor spread gossip, discontent, idleness, nor self-pity.
Right.
That's right.
See, believers train and hypocrites complain.
That's right.
I seen a saying the other day that said, small-minded people discuss people. Average-minded people discuss things. But great minds discuss ideas. A real virtuous woman does not engage in no pity talk, no complaint making, no excuse language, nor the dogging or the backbiting or tearing down of no other brother or sister.
That's right.
A real virtuous woman.
That's right.
Last but not least, her children call her blessed, happy, fortunate, and to be envied. And her husband boasts of her and praises her. I don't know about y'all, but black woman, you are the second self of God. You are not the woman of man, you are the woman of God.
That's right.
There is no such thing, so teaches the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, of a no good woman.
Right.
Any no good woman was made that way by a no good man. If you, black woman, stand up and take your rightful place in society, the whole world is going to come back into divine order.
Yeah.
I conclude with these words from our illustrious teacher and guide, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He says to the sisters right here in Atlanta, Georgia in 1994, and a message he did to all women called A Nation Can Rise No Higher Than This Woman.
That's right.
He says to the sisters, you have become in this society a piece of meat. You're not a woman with spirit or intelligence to think and plan and create and be a balance for the man in government, in politics, in business, in religion. You are kept out of everything, and by locking you out, man's own power has made him unbalanced. And his own power has driven him crazy. And he has made a world that is so wicked and self-destructive that if you don't rise up as a mother and as a woman to take your place, the world will go down and take you down with it. Well, for every action there is in nature its opposite and equal reaction.
Right.
So if the women stay down, if the mothers stay down, the whole world is going to go down with the women in it. But if women you rise, if mothers you come on up, if you become this virtuous woman that God says you are born to be, then the whole world will go up, and you and I will go up with it. Thank you for listening. I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.